Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So my name is Freddie, and yesterday I uploaded a video talking about my plan for the next 30 days to upload content every single day of this month to build an audience, I think I said. And when I was thinking about it more, this is something that's going to develop every single day, certainly, because I realized something. And that is that I need to have my what, which is I'm writing online, which is that I'm sharing online. And I need to have my why, because I want to get better, because I want to become a great coach, because I want to become a great speaker, a public speaker, because I want to get better at teaching and communicating a good message and breaking down that complex topic, that complex message into something simple that everyone can understand and use in their own life. And so that's my why. I want to help people. I want to make impact on the world. And so I think in the best way that I can do that is through me speaking, is through me helping, is through me teaching. It's something I enjoy. It's something I get energy out of. It's one of my passions. Building things is also a passion. So building this project is fun for me. Breaking down this project into smaller ones is also fun for me. Writing newsletters is fun. Writing and learning the skills for those things and making progress in those is fun and enjoyable for me. And so what I did realize is that I need to be more clear on what my goal actually is if I want that vision to provide me the steps that I need to take to get to where I want to go. And so building an audience is still kind of abstract. Really, what I'm trying to do is build an audience across my social media platforms by starting with writing on Twitter and then uploading those writings and expanding on those ideas and uploading those writings as videos and me reading that script on YouTube. And so what I'm really trying to do is build an audience on Twitter and YouTube. Build an audience on Twitter and YouTube. So that kind of narrows it down. You see what I'm saying? And to build content, to build an audience on Twitter and YouTube, I need to know a few things, right? And so this is what I was thinking of. It's who am I writing to? What am I writing about? What are their pain points? Like the person that I'm writing to, pain points and benefits for that person about the topics that I'm writing about. And so what I distilled, if you will, is that I'm writing to people like me. People like me are people that want to make progress, people that want to change the world, people that want to build their skills for fulfillment to help others and continue to gain fulfillment in that good feeling in your brain of making progress and helping others with those skills and getting better at those skills to help people better, or more people. So I'm writing to people like me. So people that are interested in solving the problems that I've solved and interested in solving the problems that I continue to solve every single day. And so, okay, that makes that kind of easier until I decide, well, who am I? And so I had to write down, who am I? What do I do? And so I got really detailed on that yesterday. Then I realized most of the time I always start, because of what Tony said about not falling into the tyranny of how, I always start with the what and the why, and I don't start with the how. But yet for my writing, I'm always starting with how. I'm always starting with what am I writing about? How do I do that? But it's like, and to some extent, I do know how to do that. And in that way, that is how I should be writing. And in that structure, that like you have to build your first structure, and it will be terrible, to iterate on it to make it better. You cannot iterate on something that does not exist. Right? So I build a structure for writing. I build a structure for making videos, because without those, that was a big block for me. I can't make videos very easy because there's so much friction between me starting a video and making the video that there's like all these different problems that come up in my own head without they're unconscious, right? I'm not saying them, but I feel them. And so I procrastinate. And when you procrastinate, that comes from a few different reasons. And this is a video that I'm going to make called Procrastination Killers. It's actually a newsletter that I'm going to begin working on. So Procrastination Killers. How do you kill procrastination? You have a why you're doing something, and you have a very clear vision. You know what problem you're solving. You know where you're going. And so I realized that I need to know where I'm going, which is I'm trying to build an audience on YouTube and Twitter to change the world and to get my message more widespread and to receive feedback from the people that get that message, to better me faster. And so also while I'm teaching, I also get other benefits from it. Don't get it messed up, right? I get to learn things twice or 3 times or as many times as I want to teach them. And other people also get to have that message that I also know in my own head. Now it's in words, it's simplified down. And so I can send that to my mom. I can send that to my family. I can send that to my friends. I can send that to any stranger that needs help that I've covered a topic on, or now that I've better thought out that thing, simplified that thing, made a video out of that thing, I can explain that to someone one-on-one quite easy, right? It's much different than just having all this stuff in my head. It's really complex. It's really all over the place, and it doesn't make any sense to someone who's brand new because I don't even remember where I started, right? It's much more effective to have taught that thing, really got that thing down to base principles, where you start, how you progress, how you get to where I am, and how to get to where I am faster than I did, right? That helps me with people. And I'm sorry if this is kind of all over the place, but I got random inspiration to talk about what I've been doing, because then I started using Inverted Thinking from Poor Charlie's Almanac. It's a mental model from Charlie Munger. And if you haven't read Poor Charlie's Almanac, again, I recommend you do so because he will give you mental models and ways to think, and it helps you just develop your philosophy. Your philosophy is just being the way you think and the way you make decisions. And every single successful person that in the world, and I learned this from Jim Rohn, develops their philosophy, because if you don't get to go anywhere. You don't get to make good decisions. You don't get to be effective in what you do because you don't know what you're doing. And so you need to just read things, learn things, distill things, question yourself, ask yourself, like, what am I about? What do I believe about this thing? What do I believe about money? What do I believe about writing? What do I believe about why I'm doing what I do and who I want to help and why do I want to help them? And like, those questions are only going to be asked by you in your journal. They're not going to be asked by anyone else, and no one's going to come save you or change that for you, right? And so every successful person develops their philosophies. And so from that, I decided to use a mental model from Poor Charlie's Almanac called Inverted Thinking. Inverted thinking is simply flipping the thing that you want to do on its head and doing it in reverse. And so, like, I don't know if that explains it very well, but this is an example. If you want to create your business or grow your business, and you don't know how to do it, because if you knew how to do it, you would have already done that thing, put it in reverse. How would you completely destroy a business or fail at business if you could do so? What would you do? I would not make any sales calls. I would not help any customers. I would not add value to any people. I would stop solving problems in my business. I would not hire anybody new. I would, and on and on and on and on and on. Then flip them and then get the solutions. So now, okay, I know I need to solve lots of problems. All I need to do in business is solve lots of problems, right? Because if I don't do that, it will completely collapse and not work. And if I don't add value to people, it will completely collapse and not work, right? So I need to add the most value I possibly can to our customer and to our employee so that they have a sense of ownership, a sense of pride inside our business, so that they want to take care of it, want to take care of our customers. And not only do I need to be a good leader and take care of my employees, I need to add value to the customer, or they won't go to me and they'll go to a competitor, right? So now you kind of at least start, because now you can go read about those things. How do I hire? How do I make sales calls? How do I treat my employees good? How do I make good compensation plans? So you can go find those things because you've given yourself those answers, just because you know what not to do. Like that, those would be miserable. So let's not do that. My laptop's gonna die, so let me just hurry this up. So when it comes to making a video, I was asking myself, what else stops me from making a video? Not only do I not know who I'm talking to or what I'm talking about or why I'm doing it, well, now I know those, right? Because I defined all those. I'm like, what else stops me from making a video? Why does it take so long for me to make a video? And so I'm like, well, I don't know, because, if I did, then I would be not doing that all the time. And so I can either sit down and define what it takes for me to make a good video, but if I don't know how to do that yet, per se, right? Like, not literally, I don't know how to make a good video. Otherwise, I would already be doing it, and I would already be doing it every single day, like clockwork, and get one out every single day, right? Or every single 2 days or week or whatever you do. And so I used inverted thinking. And so I said, if I was destroying or making the worst video I possibly could, how would I do it? And I said, I would not know what topic I'm covering. I would not have any notes on that thing that I'm talking about. I'd do zero preparation before the video or before pressing record and shooting it. I'd have no target audience. I wouldn't know who I'm talking to, what pain points they had, what, thing they were at, current situation they were in, and where their desired outcome was. I would not know any of that stuff. And so I can easily define that for somebody who's like trying to get a good mindset. I know people with a good mindset or bad mindset are in a depressed state. They're in a lost state. They're in an anxiety-stricken state of doing new things. These are all things I dealt with, by the way. And so I know to bring them into a good mindset, I need to solve those problems, right? So let's continue. I'd have no title for my talk or my video before doing it. Number 6, I would teach and talk about something that I'd never done, used, or experienced in my own life. Number 7, I would tell no stories at all, because facts tell, stories sell, right? I'd tell no stories. I would, and they help you remember, by the way. I would jump all over the place and have no structure at all to my video. So I created a structure because, again, you cannot iterate on something that does not exist. And if you do have even a shitty structure, right, a terrible one, you can now iterate and make it better, right? Or at least now you could compare the pattern, which is yours, compared to somebody else who is better than you, right? And so you could steal other people's patterns and steal other people's steps and structure in videos, but you'll only notice that stuff if you create your own, if you start to use your own in practice, right? And then you can take structure from other people's talks and videos and things like that, and you'll notice it a lot more too. And that is simply pattern recognition, to pattern utilization, to pattern creation. So that's another topic for a different video. Number 9, I would ramble a lot, make the video way too long, and not get to the point. And so if I flip those all, and that was just where I ended for now, right? And before I got this inspiration just to shoot the video. And so I flipped those and I said I would now decide and know what I'm talking about before hitting the record button. I would have notes for what I'm covering. I would prepare and practice before recording the video, one time, because the second draft is always better, which is something I learned about writing just in general, is your second draft is always better than the first. The first draft is always like pretty good. You think it's good at the time. You go on a walk, you come back and you look at it and you're like, the hell was I talking about? And you fix something else and you fix something else and you fix something else and you fix something else. And I would say the third, fourth, fifth, 10th drafts are probably even better than those. But if you just want to be, efficient with your time, you're not going to want to iterate and reflect and write the same newsletter about 15 times before you put it out. But you could do that. You could do that and continue to get better at that newsletter. But I have a theory that you want to actually get a lot more statistical evidence or statistical significance before you start to perfect things, before you start to try to make things better. Because the first 1 through 100 of writing a newsletter, it's going to be terrible. And it's going to be terrible because you don't know what a good newsletter is yet. And so you should really just get the reps in and make sure you balance between getting the reps in and iterating and reflecting and making those things better. And I would just say, go to the next rep, make this one better than the last one. And just continue to do that, but continue to get the reps in. Don't spend all your time on one thing before you get it to the market. And so those are just some things that I realized about my videos and how I would make a video terrible is, again, not knowing what I'm talking about things I haven't used, not knowing how to do anything about a video, not preparing at all or trying the first draft before I did the second draft, and on and on and on. So that was just a little video about inverting your thinking. Invert things that are hard for you to do and ask how you would do them in the opposite way. Ask how you would absolutely destroy or fail at that thing. And then you'll give yourself some answers or cannon fodder. You'll give yourself some foundation to go begin researching to fill in those gaps that you don't know why, something is not working. Because if I really can think of no reasons how I would destroy a business, clearly I know nothing about business. So let's just go pick up the first thing about entrepreneurship and how people solve problems for other people. And we'll just start there. But even if you get there, you're better off than saying, where do I start? That's where you start. But that is all for the video, my friends. So thank you very much for watching. My name has been Freddie. I will see you guys a lot more through the month. So expect a lot more content from me, teaching you about things that I'm doing, things that I am doing whilst I build my personal brand, build out videos, write out newsletters, and do all the things required to get to where I want to go. And so if any of that sounds interesting to you, if you want to build a personal brand, if you want to learn to write online about things that you love and learn what you love and how to find out what you love, then go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Go ahead and check the description out for all my other links and things like that, and things that I give you guys for free, of course. And I will see you very soon. My name has been Freddie. Please have a wonderful night. Peace.